been a superstar, you're a household name in India, but let's talk about growing up in Australia. Sydney, I've heard a lot about the neighbourhood. Was it challenging, competitive, but still Aussie in every way?
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic upbringing, I think. You know, all of us got to live the life that we wanted to. We always outdoors playing with, you know, footballs, cricket, tennis, whatever it was to do with sport, we were always doing that.
What was David Warner as a kid?
A pest. I was always knocking on people's doors, trying to get them out to throw me cricket balls or come play around with the soccer ball or football. Always wanted to be outdoors.
What were you like as a kid who went to school? Did you get good marks? Were you always more inclined towards sports?
School and me didn't go together. School and sports did. I was always #1 in the class for physical education.
That was your favourite subject?
That was the only subject.
Any other subject that you liked, or at least tried to like?
I liked arts, design and technology, woodwork, liked building things. That's something that, you know, as an Australian, we look towards doing a trade, whether it's electrician, you know, cabinet making, building houses.
When did cricket happen? Do you have your earliest memory of cricket? Do you remember that?
Oh, I think when I was probably 9 years of age, just playing in the local park with a couple of mates for a junior district team that I played for. We went out there and had a bit of fun. I think you had 5 overs to bat. You lost 5 runs if you got out, and you retired. As the years went on, you retired at 25, I think it was.
A fascinating journey. There is so much more to you. I think it's only right that we settle down because we want to pick your brains when it comes to this journey of yours in cricket. Let's carry on there. Come. How do you look back at this eventful journey?
Yeah, look, it's been a fascinating one. There's been some ups, there's been some downs, and now there's been some more ups, which is, I think that's the way of life. You evolve. As a youngster, you come on the scene, you come on fresh. You don't really understand what it's like to be living away from home. There's obviously obstacles along the way. You're away from home a lot. But right now at the moment, I'm really enjoying my cricket and I'm happy where I am today.
David, you were thrown into the deep end. You played for Australia without having played a single first-class game. But over the last couple of years, we've seen a solid technique. Is that one of the reasons you're scoring heavily in Test cricket? Yeah,
and it's about, I think Test cricket allows you to play a different way in the 2020 format and one-day format. When I first came on the scene, I played the 2020 stuff. I went out there, didn't really know how to build an innings. It was just basically go from ball one. If it came off, it came off. Played a one-day series against South Africa. Didn't go too well because the same thing. I didn't really know how to build an innings. I was just going out there, chancing my arm. Didn't come off. I played 7 games, didn't play another one-day game for Australia for 2 years. So I really had to go back and work hard on how to build an innings in one-day format. Same thing, work out in 2020 cricket, that it's not just about going out there and slogging it. You actually have to have a game plan. So it helped me when I went back to New South Wales and played the Shield format. Opened the batting there, sort of got my eye in against the red ball, and then obviously coming back and making my debut for Australian Test match cricket. It sort of gave me an element to my game that I had to really focus on to try and be a very good one-day and 2020 player, is to try and succeed in a longer format, which I therefore today think that's helped my shorter version of the game.
Do you reckon it's a bigger challenge for someone who starts international cricket with T20? The fact that you hadn't played first-class cricket, there'll be a lot of purists who might hold it against you. And how are you suddenly playing for Australia? You haven't played first-class cricket, you've been fast-tracked. So is that an added challenge, the criticism that might come in?
Yeah, look, I always look at someone like, you know, Viru. He's one person who, you know, chance his arm all the time when you open the batting in Test match cricket. His philosophy is that you only got 2 or 3 fielders in front of, you know, the crease, and you chance your arm. If it comes off, it comes off. Someone like him who can average 50s Test career is a fantastic achievement. And it's something that was in the back of my mind when he said to me that I'm going to be a better Test cricketer than 2020 cricketer. I laughed because I hadn't played a Test match game. And that's something that I've had to really work hard on. And now that the one-day stuff and 2020 stuff takes care of itself, because I'm so focused on Test cricket at the moment, and it's really has helped me and changed my game dramatically.
David, it's been a lot about the challenges you faced as a batsman against bowlers. But what about other challenges? Everyone knows that you're a fiery cricketer. You see your aggressive side on the field. Is it a reflection of your childhood days, especially the neighbourhood you grew up in?
Yeah, look, I think from where I stand, it was more an upbringing from where I was. If someone was going at you, you didn't back down, you never backed down. And that's something that has been embedded into me as a youngster. I've always taken the challenge, and it's almost like you have to have the last say. And that's something that happens on the field. If someone's going to keep niggling at you, you want to sort of give it back. But there's times where you have to really pull it back in and be a little bit more mature, and that comes with age. That comes with having a young family as well, having someone who's guided me to where I am at the moment. And a lot of that comes down to my wife. She's been very, very good for me. She got me back on the straight and narrow. It's been a blessing in disguise. It's been something that I've really have enjoyed, and I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life.
How was it growing up?
Yeah, look, it was great. I had a brother I've got a brother who's 7 years older than me. He loved his cricket. He was an opening batsman. We played a lot of cricket in the backyard, which was exciting. I did a lot of bowling, not much batting. And look, when I was a youngster, I came through idolising Shane Warne, wanted to bowl spin. I bowled a little bit as a youngster in some junior level stuff, batted middle order. It wasn't until 21, 22 I actually started opening the batting, and gave me more of an opportunity to be where I am today. But in the back of my mind, the skill that I had when I was a youngster, if I opened the batting back then, I feel that it would have been a little bit more easy to settle into that role of being an opening batsman rather than being just thrown right in there with obviously nothing to lose. I think it was when I opened the batting for New South Wales. It was a great experience for me. There was a lot of talk that I probably wouldn't be able to handle the new ball, but I had to find a way. And I think the best thing that I've done in my time and my career at the moment was I had to adapt out in the battlefield. I had to actually work hard on that out in the middle. I didn't have the upbringing of opening the batting. I didn't have anything to say, all right, I really worked hard here as a youngster with the new ball. It was all when I was 21, 22, had to work out in the moment how to tackle that new ball. And right now, thinking I've actually worked out a game plan, and it's going so well at the moment.
Started scoring runs were coming aplenty, but then you started scoring hundreds and big ones. Was that the next step? Was that something that you intentionally wanted to do?
Yeah, well, I always wondered in the back of my mind when people talk about scoring a lot of hundreds, and sort of the last 12 to 24 months, I think I've excelled in that. I've been much more consistent. And obviously a lot of those hundreds were second innings, and most of them were on home soil. I went away against the #1 team in the world and scored hundreds over there. England was a very, very tough series for all of us. I probably threw away 400s. But that's the thing that you have to do in this level. You have to adapt to conditions. And that's something that I still have to challenge myself moving forward.
How do you set personal challenges? How do you set goals for yourself?
It's about having realistic goals in place. For me, to help the team, I need to be scoring runs for one. In certain series, you set your goals of how many runs you want to try and achieve for the series, and then you can obviously assess with other people's goals what they want to achieve for the series to see how that weighs out in where you want to be as a team. We always talk about partnerships as a big thing for us in the Australian cricket team. We always want to tick off a 100 run, a 75 run, 50 run partnership, and two players going on to score big hundreds. They're goals that we try and set as individuals to achieve our team's goals. And that's one thing we have to set out to do to accomplish that.
Well, you continue to redefine rules of modern batting. Is it picking and choosing your shots? I mean, you still play some audacious shots, David.
Yeah, you've got to be on top of your game where you have to really be comfortable to actually execute your skill. I look at the Dubai series. They had Yasir Shah and they had Sulfika Baba.
Yeah.
Two bowlers that are spinning into me, where they had no point. They had a cover and a mid off. In my mind, I'm just thinking I'm going to reverse sweep, and I backed myself, and I was able to do that. So they moved the field around a bit, and then it enabled me to play in front of my body, to play on the offside. So the leg side was taken out of play, but I had to be comfortable with myself to do that. And I was able to do that. In Australia, you generally play, straight down the ground as much as you can. Anything outside your body, you leave. In England, the ball's swinging so much, you've got to be very, very tight in here. But therefore, I have to still play my game, which is to look to score. So you've got to be on top of your game and you have to adapt to conditions. And that's one thing, to be a very, very good cricket player and a great player, you've got to have that skill.
Okay, David, I want you to be very honest about this. How important is it to get under the skin of your opponent? Teach me a trick or two how to do that.
You got to pick your targets. I think when you've got a very, very good player, that's in at the crease, you really got to remind them of little gaps, like say for instance if someone's on fire, if the
Kohli.
say for instance if Virat's coming in at say number 3 for example, and 4 and 5 haven't been going well, you know, you just remind him that there's a lot of weight on his shoulders, he has to score the bulk of the runs, but you just little niggles here and there, and that sort of, you hope he's actually in his ear, he's actually hearing that, and he's probably saying, oh, David Warner, I'm going to get him. I'm going to try and play. You want to try and make him play a big shot, and that's something that's in the back of your mind. But you got to pick your targets.
Well, let's say it's a Virat Kohli in the Indian team. How would you go about that?
I don't think easy target when he's batting. I think when he's fielding, I think the aggression that comes towards you, you sort of know he's so competitive that he wants to just beat every single one of you guys on the field, which is fantastic.
Okay, David, we'll leave it at that. It's been wonderful that you've been so honest and you've spent so much time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.